Yes, he's never been short of things to say, but now for us boxing fans, we aren't really liking what we're hearing. It seems the Gypsy King, the WBC heavyweight champion, is now washing his hands with the game, unfazed about the legacy he could be tarnishing, and taking a great big shit on our hopes of the undisputed. Bloody hell, yes, it's all doom and gloom, it's all gone wrong, innit? It's game over. But wait, it may just be one big hoax. It may just be one big Fury bluff, and let me tell you why. It probably is. So let's lube up and dive into the crack of this situation. Let's look at the facts, the interesting things happening behind the scenes, and see if Tyson Fury is just simply messing with us. It wouldn't be the first time, would it? Yeah, so strap in. So let me give you some saucy context. The Fury and Ngannou presser was upon us, and the hardcore boxing fans went, am I bollocks watching that? What a load of muff. Then they opened YouTube and thought, oh, go on, fuck it. And there he was, in one of his ropey old suits, squaring off against the UFC legend, and looking in great shape. Looking in a sort of shape. I mean, by the looks of things, camp clearly ain't started yet. But anyway, then he's on the mic. He's being his usual brash self, telling us how fabulous he is, talking about his #1 Netflix show. It's been watched by 9 billion people, #1 on all the charts. It's breaking all these fake records. I mean, there ain't half some shit on Netflix. It didn't have much to compete against, did it? But anyway, yes, he's cracked it by the sound of it. Well done, Tyson. And then the questions are fired at him. We know this is a little knockabout for 50 million. It ain't serious. But we finally find out what's next for the Gypsy King.
I want to top the Forbes list.
Tyson, just quickly, you mentioned on stage you'll be willing to fight him in a cage. You deadly serious after this?
I will beat that bitch up in a cage.
You had it.
Hold on a minute.
I ain't going in no cage.
John, you're talking about me in a cage. I'm not a cage fighter, mate.
The money is irrelevant. Exactly. You can't take it with you, son.
Well, there we go. Yeah, fair enough, righto. But yes, that's just old contradictive Fury, innit? We're all used to it now. It's like the ugly ginger bloke at work who comes in every Monday telling you he pulled an absolute stunner again on Saturday night. He says, yeah, I started chatting to this 9 out of 10. I frothed her up. She felt me bicep. Bosh, she was back at the flat. We done the wheelbarrow through the kitchen. She won't be walking for a week. Fucking blinding it was. And you're there just thinking, oh yeah, here he goes. Nathan's chatting shit again. But you just let it be. It's a regular thing, and that's where we're at with old Lukey boy. It is what it is. But then here's what he says about the one fight that we all want to know about, Mr. Usyk and the Undisputed.
So where does the Undisputed fight sit then?
Undisputed, road to undisputed.
Listen, I got Francis Ngannou to deal with. Should the other little sausage want to fight for the Undisputed, then, you know, if he takes a small percentage, then we might make it happen. But if he wants a large bag, then I'm going to say, no thank you.
Oh, bloody hell, put on me yellow raincoat and call me a banana. We're back to the old split problem, innit? Bloody hell, Tyson's getting a bit greedy again, and because of recent times, we could all come to the conclusion that, yeah, he basically don't want the fight, does he? It's not going to happen. They won't agree. We'll never get Undisputed. But don't jump to conclusions. Remember, he was bullshitting about being retired. That was waffle, and all this may be total waffle also. Now here's why. Let's look at the finer details. So Fury says he only wants the biggest bags possible. He's getting a solid bag from Saudi against Ngannou, and then he basically says he will only be fighting for the mega bags in Saudi against more mega names. Not boxers though. He's completed boxing apparently.
So you're fighting strictly for money.
Yep.
There's going to be contenders out there who are fighting for love, desire, all that.
And I have no interest in fighting those guys.
Because
I'm bigger than all of them. I'm a superstar, they're nobodies. I have everything that they want, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, no comment. Could you imagine Tiger Woods back in the day saying that? You're not playing today, Tiger? No, am I? Fuck, I'm done with golf. I completed it and I'm only facing hockey players now. Fuck all the rest of you. Anyway, so what he's saying here is no more little UK stadium fights for a mere 20 million quid. He's talking about Ngannou in a cage, Jon Jones in the ring, then in a cage.
I think I'd like to fight Jon Jones as well. I told you I'd go in a cage with Ngannou for sure. And I would fight Jon Jones also in a cage, if the money was right.
Well, I'm going to nip this one in the bud here and now and say there's more chance of my bumhole singing a duet with fucking Westlife than Fury getting in a cage. It's not happening in a billion years. His ego's too big to get embarrassed like he obviously would do. They're simply too skilled and they will absolutely fucking smash him. He knows this, so that's out the window.
Zero chance of me going in an MMA cage and rolling around and all that. Zero.
Jon Jones in the ring? Well, possibly, but much like Tyson in a cage, is Jon willing to let himself and his ego be embarrassed in the ring, which he knows would happen? He ain't stupid. Now, yes, okay, it is very good money. That could tempt him. I don't know, fuck knows, maybe. It maybe might happen, maybe not. But then again, will Frank and the Saudis be willing to put on another so-called event as the next fight and lose even more credibility? I find it double hard to believe. So then let's just put Jones to one side for a minute. Tyson is saying that he's set up on top in the old Forbes list. We can understand this because he loves the money. He'll probably change his mind tomorrow, but one thing is for certain, now that Saudi money is there, he will only be fighting for Saudi money. Because let's be honest, with his age and the shape he's in most of the time these days, he probably ain't got a great deal of fights left. So after Ngannou, who is there outside of boxing for him to fight that brings in that mega $1 million payday? Well, I'll tell you who there is. There are only two fellas who can bring in the big bucks, and they are, of course, these legendary MMA fighting champions, the Don Texas and Knockant Aviable. Yeah. So come on, Luke, you can talk about only fighting mega non-boxing names all you want, but other than Ngannou and Jones, nobody, and I mean nobody, has a name to justify $75 or a $100 million purse. But he and the Saudis already know that, don't they? Which means Fury will surely be crawling back to boxing in no time at all, to fight the names that really do bring in the Forbes list money, and we all know who they are, AJ and Usyk. Now Joshua's supposed to fight Wilder, but that's a total balls up at the minute, so God knows what's happening with that. But Usyk is still there. He's ready and willing to fight, and that undisputed bout will have the eyes of the world on it. The Saudis will be double happy to dip into their pockets for that one, which probably includes step aside for Hrgovic. Now here's a few reasons to maybe get your hopes up for the undisputed. First of all, we've got Tyson's manager Spencer Brown, who dropped an absolute bombshell on the old Teddy Atlas podcast the other day. You may have seen Spencer in Fury's Netflix show, or just by the by, maybe you're sick of Netflix in your country because there ain't much to watch these days. Well, why don't you follow in my footsteps and use NordVPN to access the rest of the ruddy world? You're missing out on an astronomical amount of choices from other countries that you will have access to in the click of a button with our old mate NordVPN. So let me just explain to you VPN virgins what NordVPN can do for you. It will allow you to appear to be using the internet as though you're in another country. Meaning, for example, you can tap into the latest Hollywood blockbusters on Netflix USA that aren't available in the UK.
Yeah, but do you only use it for Netflix proper?
No, of course, it's not just for Netflix, me old China. It's for a million things. Like being abroad, you can't always access your favourite betting sites and put on a footy accumulator, but with NordVPN you can. And how about your favourite sporting event that's taking place in a different country? Bosh, one click and you're surfing in that region. Lovely jubbly. And of course, I'm going to tickle your nipples right now and give you a terrific special offer of 4 months free when you sign up to a 2-year plan. And lastly, don't you worry, the safety is second to none. NordVPN acts as a blinding cybersecurity tool, blocking out all them dodgy hackers, blocking out all them intrusive ads, and you'll remain completely private, safe and secure. So get yourself over to nordvpn.com/proper or click the link in the description, and in no time at all, you'll be accessing a million more films from Netflix as well as many other things. Thank you NordVPN for the saucy sponsor. Now where was I? Yes, so here's the bombshell Tyson's manager dropped on the Teddy Atlas podcast.
But all I can say to you is that if you had a Christmas wish list that you want, a fight that you wanted to see in the heavyweight division, it could very, very well happen. The Saudis will make everybody's Christmas come true.
Yeah, well, you can't lie, can you? That does sound a bit interesting, innit? It could be bollocks, I know that, but it did sound rather credible. And then there was this the other day, which certainly perked up my earlobes. Mentioned on the Ruddy Brilliant Fight Disciples podcast. I love these boys, yes, they're double superb. It's Adam Catch-a-Ball and Nick Feet. Have a look.
I had my own conversation at the weekend with a boxer who shall be unnamed, but said boxer has been told if he wins his next fight, he is going to be on the Fury Usyk undercard. Now, I laughed at him and he went, no, I'm being serious. it's done.
Yes, so once again, you've got to admit it does sound double interesting. And now, here's where we are with it all. Fury Ngannou is kicking off what is known as the Riyadh season, a state-sponsored annual entertainment and sports festival that lasts for a number of months. As we've been told, the Ngannou fight is tipped to be massive. Frank and everyone is saying it'll be an incredible boxing event like nothing we've ever seen before, an absolute spectacle, which means they'll probably have a couple of singers and a few extra fucking fireworks. That'll be about it, let's be honest. But anyway, the rumbles are that they're going to need a colossal fight to end the Riyadh festival, and this fight they will once again throw untold amounts of money into to get the eyes of the world watching. A fight they will probably pay the lucky fighters enough money to say feature on the Forbes list? Yes, surely it can only be Fury versus Usyk. I mean, what else is there? Now, Skills Challenge have been the go-to Saudi outfit for boxing over the past few years, but as we know, there's some new players in town, headed up by this man. Yes, they call him the double excellent Turkey. Now, let me tell you, this fella is a big dog. He's powerful enough that he's recruited Ronaldo to be an ambassador for Riyadh season, and as Adam Cattrall explained in his recent pod, Skills Challenge have always had to apply to him in order to get their fights approved. He tells the main man and it gets a green light or it don't. But old Frankie boy, along with Bobby boy, are working with Turkey directly, meaning they are in a much more powerful position than say Eddie and Skills Challenge. And in their interview the other day, Turkey threw in this little comment, which went quite unnoticed.
We are finishing a lot of surprise, but now we are focusing on this match, and another surprise, we'll know about it in the right time.
So yes, Turkey may have been a bit murky here, but basically he's saying behind the scenes they've got something lined up that's pretty quirky. Sorry about that. But yes, it's a little hint at another massive event happening in the near future. After Ngannou, which by the way tells you how much they see Ngannou being a threat, doesn't it? Oh, his punches Guinness Book of World Records. Oh, bollocks, the man's not a boxer. Pull your lip over your head and swallow. But anyway, yes, no matter what, something definitely is bubbling up to finish off Riyadh season. And conclusions are being drawn on it being that much needed, undisputed. Now, I'm under no illusions that yes, this all depends on Fury, doesn't it? If at the end of the day he's not fancying the Usyk fight, then we simply won't see it. But as we know, he does love the money. He ain't got long left. There simply are no other options that justify those silly Saudi mega $1 million paydays. And on top of that, Usyk showed a little bit of vulnerability in the Dubois fight. You never know, Tyson now may see less of a threat. And so then maybe, just maybe, this was always the plan from the beginning. We know back in February last year that Tyson had the Ngannou fight sealed up. The old game-changing line gave it away. To be fair, from a business sense, why would you fight Usyk first and possibly lose, which then decreases your value in the Ngannou fight, or even kill it completely, when instead you could take the easy Ngannou fight for maximum pay, beat him up, then get even more money for the Usyk fight. It makes double sense, doesn't it? And of course, the Usyk fight was never going to be in the UK for a quarter of the money, and it weren't just a quarter of the money, was it? It was a heavily taxed quarter of the money, whereas athletes competing in Saudi aren't subjected to tax laws like the UK. So yes, there's a chance this could all be Fury on the old wind-up again, a giant bluff like the old retirement line last year. And remember, Tyson's not stupid, he sees the comments, he knows he's lost a lot of fans through his antics, but he also knows it will only take for him to get in the ring with old Alexander to completely squash the negative slander he's been receiving. And if he wins, his legacy will be intact. It's something he may brush off, but we all know he does care about it. He knows everything he's done in the sport will not be complete without the undisputed. So there we are. I may be getting your hopes up and talking bollocks once again, but I'm a little bit more optimistic this time. Fuck it, only time will tell. Yes, alright then, let me know your comments below. Peace out then, alright, see you later, boss.